Hello and welcome back to Meraki Unboxed. Once again, my name is Simon Thompson, host for today, and you are listening to episode 91 of the Meraki Unboxed episodes, and this is a bonus that we're putting in here, another one. We've got just so much content going on at the moment, we're struggling to keep to our once every 2 weeks cadence. So we didn't think you'd mind too much. We've given you an extra episode once again. We had one recently, a bonus episode on esports. But this time, well, we've got some exciting news that we really just wanted to share with you and talk through a little bit. And I will very shortly be introducing Lawrence from our leadership team, who is going to join us in that conversation. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you, Meraki Unboxed is a podcast we normally run every 2 weeks. And we love to fill this with content, not just about the products at Meraki, but also the people, the organization, the business, what we're trying to do to really help the world with our solutions and the problems that we're trying to address. And we also love to feature you, the customers and partners of Cisco Meraki. And so definitely encourage you to reach out if you have any ideas for episodes or any use cases or stories you'd love to tell on the podcast. We'd love to have you on here as a guest. You can reach me very easily. Pick up your email and just type in simon@meraki.com. Send me a message and let me know what you think of the show and what you would like to cover on here. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to bring in my special guest for today, very special guest, Lawrence. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Simon. It's good to talk to you again.
It's great to have you back on here. We were just reminiscing before we hit the record button that you were on one of the very earliest episodes of the podcast. I don't remember what that was about. Can you?
I actually don't, but I'm actually really amazed that this is episode number 91. How far we've come.
It has been quite a journey. It's I think we're at 3.5 years in at this point in time. So it's great to have you back on here once again. So for our audience who maybe weren't around when that early episode happened, could you just tell us what you do at Cisco Meraki?
Sure. I actually recently just took on a new role here at Cisco Meraki. So I'm the general manager for Meraki as well as for Cisco Wireless. Previously, when I was on the podcast, I was responsible for the product management team here at Meraki.
Oh, wow. So this is extremely exciting news. Congratulations. Your role has expanded quite a bit then.
Thanks.
Are you still getting your feet under the desk?
I think that's fair to say. I think this is literally day 5
right.
in the new role.
Well, I guess we're pretty lucky to have you on here then, given I've no doubt your calendar is probably even more full than it was before, but we definitely wanted to have you come on and share some exciting news around the growth of the organization and the dashboard, which of course has been fundamental to everything that we've done here at Cisco Meraki over the past, what is it now? We're at 16 years, I think, that the organization's been going, and the dashboard is really continuing to be right at the heart of everything we do. So let's just get into that. I understand that we have hit some pretty interesting milestones. Do you want to share those with us?
Yeah, I'm really excited to share with the audience here that we recently crossed an exciting new threshold where we have over 4 million networks online and over 12 million Meraki devices connected to the platform. So phenomenal growth, and the team is incredibly excited.
It's amazing. I mean, 4 million networks, and remind us how many devices we can potentially have in a network, because that number on its own is impressive, but it goes way beyond that. You've said 12 million devices, but I mean, how many can we have in a typical network? It's many thousands, right?
Yeah, it's like 25,000 plus. We keep growing and scaling, and even I lose track of the exact number.
Well, I think one of the things that's really stood out for me, incredibly impressive, is the rate of growth that we've experienced. So you and I, Lawrence, we've been working together for many, many years. How many years are we talking about? It must be a decade just about at this point. And we have seen so much evolution of this dashboard and the adoption of it over that time. And I think I'm right in saying that we only just hit 3 million active networks last year, right? In 21.
You're right. I was actually pulling up some notes, and I was looking back at this. It's pretty amazing because we actually hit 1 million networks back in May of 2017. So that was a little over 10 years after Meraki started. And then we ended up hitting 2 million networks in April of 2019, which was less than 2 years later. And then to your point, 3 million networks March of last year, which again happened in less than 2 years. And now we're sitting at 4 million networks in just 19 months.
That's quite a story. You must be very proud of the team.
I'm incredibly proud of our team, but I think for me, the bigger thing is, the impact that we're having on the industry continues to accelerate. And that's probably the most exciting part here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, of course, why we get up in the morning and do this every single day. And so I think the acceleration is incredibly exciting to talk about, but you have to ask yourself why. How is it that we've managed to hold on to this kind of appeal as we've scaled and grown the organization, the number of products that we offer, and the number of solutions that we're able to address. So, what are you typically hearing from customers? What's your sense of why you think this success is there?
Yeah, I think when I talk to customers, every single customer, they have their own sets of unique challenges. But I think there are definitely some things that are common, especially over these past few years. I think first and foremost, the IT teams at the heart of an organization, like that has been made abundantly clear to many of our, customers. I think when you think about this idea of how do you actually support modern enterprises and businesses, you need a world-class network infrastructure to support the lifeblood and heartbeat of that business. And so for many of our customers out there, this is a big driver for them to continue to invest in IT infrastructure and technology. But then it becomes, more than just that. It becomes how do I actually support new business initiatives? Maybe I want to be able to, not only turn up new storefronts, but I also need to be able to support new use cases around physical security and doing it in the simplest way possible. If I look at sustainability, for many of our customers in EMEA and around the world, this has become a very hot topic. They want to know how can the investments that they're making actually contribute to a sustainable future. And I think the list goes on, but I think at the heart of it is, being able to adapt to changing needs, whether it's for, driven by what's internal to their company or, mandates are changing around the world here.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a mark of the maturity that we've reached as an organization. When I think back to the early days when I first joined, a lot of the conversations were certainly around simplicity, and they were certainly around fast deployments, zero touch deployments, and just being able to just do everything more easily with less. And the amazing thing is that over time, the conversations evolved beyond the products and the features that we have and the speeds and feeds that we have. It's much more of a business conversation that we're starting with now, and really we're able to address so many of the challenges our customers have that we can start with that. So we can actually get into trying to solve those use cases. That must be something that gives you a lot of pride again with seeing how many of those we can address.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, this is one of the things I've been thinking about lately, which is, given our history, like what is the thing that, has really helped our customers be successful? And what do we continue to do? Like, what should we carry forward over the, next 5 years, 10 years? And I think one of the things that, still remains true for me is that ultimately, differentiating with simplicity is truly evergreen. Because I think
Yeah.
like the funny thing, you and I both know this, Simon, in the early days, like I think if you use the word simplicity or simple, it would be viewed almost as a four-letter word, depending on
Right.
the type of customer you would be talking to.
Yeah.
But for many of the largest enterprises in the world, like they want to embrace this and they really want to find ways to streamline their operations. They want to invest in more automation. They want to use, our APIs to integrate into their existing workflows. They want to be able to, again, pull telemetry and, pair that with other telemetry from other systems that they have out there. And ultimately, they want to be able to do this in the simplest way possible. So I believe that we need to continue to deliver on that core value proposition, even as we support more use cases and our customer base continues to grow.
And it's worth reflecting again on the fact that simplicity doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come for free. That's for sure. And it's actually really hard to keep engineering in simplicity into the product, especially as the portfolio grows and its breadth of capabilities continues to grow. I mean, how do we continue to keep this as the North Star for the organization, given its growth and complexity now?
Yeah, in some ways, like I would say it's almost become easier, even though the challenges may be harder. And what I mean by that is even if you listen to, what Chuck Robbins, the CEO of Cisco, talks about, and all the leaders in the organization, they really come to embrace this idea that delivery on simplicity is probably one of the most sophisticated things you can do for your customers. And I think that mindset, as long as you start with that and then focus on customer pain points and use cases, like that really helps drive the culture of the product development organization in thinking through the capabilities that we bring to market. Does it truly deliver on that promise, or can we do better? And I think that even if we continue to build new use cases, this is one thing where ultimately, if you can deliver on a better way to deliver that mousetrap, if you will, I think this is something that customers will truly value time and again, and they continue to vote with their network infrastructure. They continue to bet on Meraki as a platform, and this is really what's been driving a lot of the growth that we've been seeing over the past few years.
And actually, I was going to ask you what your thoughts were around how we continue from here, how we continue to keep that scale going, because I've no doubt that Chuck Robbins has already asked you how are we going to get it to 5 million and probably beyond that as well. So what are your thoughts around how we continue to stay on that path really and just keep that success going?
Yeah, I think in many ways, like we started this journey, especially at the past Cisco Live in the US back in June, where we talked about how we were going to start bringing Catalyst and Meraki together. And you're talking about, some of the world's, best networking hardware and software in the world with the world's best network management, solution. And, bringing these two portfolios together in a meaningful way, it's not an easy challenge, but I think that for us, it still remains, as long as we're focused on the end customer, focused on their pain points and use cases, like we can deliver the right solutions for them. Like I have complete confidence in the team for that.
Yeah, obviously our success has borne that out, and we've seen it across the portfolio as we've looked at this wonderful phrase I keep hearing of solving problems, not building features, right? And really putting the customer at the heart of everything we're doing. It feels like the winning formula. So the interesting thing for me though is how are we going to continue this growth with the people we have? Right? We need to. We're going to need more people, right?
Well, Simon, it's almost like you set me up for a slam dunk here, but you're absolutely right. I think one of the things that has kept me here at Meraki at Cisco is really the people, the culture, the values that we live each and every single day, and we truly built something incredibly special here that I'm honored to be able to continue to carry that torch forward for the organization. But that being said, for us to continue to transform this industry for the benefit of our customer, we are going to need people. So for those of you who may have been curious about, what it's like to work at Meraki, to help build the technologies and solutions that many of you, love each and every single day, I would just encourage you to take a look at, our career site, meraki.cisco.com/careers. It's a really great window into the roles that we have, as well as a little bit of peek into, what life at Meraki and Cisco's like.
Yeah. I mean, it's well said, and you're right. I did set you up. It was quite deliberate, I have to say, but still, I think very valid. A very valid thing to remind ourselves about is that we are continuing to grow, and so it's a story of success. And obviously, if you're listening and you're inspired by what you've heard on this or other episodes, then we'd absolutely love to hear from you. Lawrence, I mean, it's been short and sweet, this one. We just wanted to get that news out there and just we're very proud. We wanted to share it with everybody and just share in that excitement of the growth of the organization. But obviously, you now have this sort of broader remit to look forward to. So, are you getting to take a break before you really roll your sleeves up, or are you just heading straight forward?
I'll tell you the same thing I tell people on my team. You should take breaks, take PTO when you need it. Like, being burned out is the last thing anyone needs. And so, I'll take breaks over the holidays, but I'm really excited to jump further into this with the team and continue to help transform this industry.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I know you're extremely busy, so we're very grateful for your time. And of course, if you're listening and you really have understood everything we've talked about here, I think this thing around use cases and really solving some of the challenges that you're experiencing, we're very interested in getting that right. And so we'd love to hear from you if you've got any ideas for areas where we could be focusing, or if you have your own challenges that you would love some support from, then then we would love to hear from you. And it's very easy, of course, to reach out to us. All kinds of ways of doing that online. But again, if you'd like to surface that on an episode of the Unboxed podcast yourself, you're of course welcome to join us. And I would love to hear from you. So once again, Simon@Meraki.com, drop me a line and we'll try and line something up. But Lawrence, thank you so much once again for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks a lot, Simon.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll be back again next week with another regularly scheduled episode of Meraki Unboxed. Bye for now.